Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Vraja
Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana.
Yashodanandana Vraja
Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Lord Premanande, Hare
Hare.
Bol.
Hare Bol.
So welcome again to Bhakti Vaibhava. And we're on Canto 3. Are you going to the Ambika Kauna on Sunday?
Yeah.
Yes? You going? Good.
Gita Maharaj?
Yeah.
Hi.
The Russian devotees also coming?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they come here.
They're coming?
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, good. Yeah, it's supposed to be 3 buses.
Yeah.
Well, the devotees. Okay, so we're on 3rd Canto, chapter 11, calculation of time from the atom. How's your mathematics? So we were hearing about time briefly in chapter 10, and we heard about creation, right? How many kinds of creation?
9. No.
Huh?
10.
Total 10, right?
10.
Right, what's the 10th one?
Humans?
Demigods.
Oh, demigods.
The 10th creation is
Demigods.
the demigods, right? And the first 6 are?
The
Elemental.
Animals.
Yes,
Practical.
right, the element natural creations. And then 3 are?
Creation by Brahma.
Right, the creation by Brahma. And then how many kinds of annihilation are there?
3.
3.
3, right. One is?
At the end of the day of Brahma,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the life of Brahma,
Mm-hmm.
and another one is like liberation.
No, not liberation, for individuals.
Freedom from the material element.
Yeah.
Yeah, the destruction of the material body according to our karma. So what's the ultimate particle in the creation? the atoms, yes. And the atom is indivisible and not formed into a body. Right, they were always trying to divide the atom bomb, right? Destroy and break the atom and create the explosion. And it exists always as an invisible identity. Well, time is also invisible, right? How do we see time? How are we able to perceive time?
By its effects.
By the effect of time, right? The effect of time. Everything is affected by time. Everything in the material world. So what about in the spiritual world? Is there time there? There is time there, but it doesn't decay like it does in the material world. But it doesn't have the effect which time has on matter. So atoms are the basic element of the material nature. The atomic structure, right? Atoms. What are the elements in the atom? The neutron and the proton and the electrons, right? These things, this is what we learn in modern science. We learn about these things. And Prabhupada said this is further described in the Paramanuvada of Canada. Who's Canada? One of the great philosophers. One of the philosophers of the days of yore. Paramanuvada. Everything comes from atoms. Atoms are the basis of life. Something like that. Some atheistic philosophy. So that's one of, there are 6 theories, right? 6 prominent theories. Like, you have Gautama's logic, you have Jaimini's Karma Mimamsa, you have Patanjali's yoga, you have Vaisheshika, what's his philosophy? Huh?
Is that the philosophy was called by Sheshika?
But what was it, the principal idea in his philosophy, was it?
Isn't it like matter, atoms and matter, things like that? Rather than the question.
Yeah, certainly was some atheistic philosophy. So you had Gautama, you had Patanjali, you had Sankhya, Kapila, and you had Jaimini, Karma Mimamsa, and Vyasadeva. What's Vyasadev's philosophy? Vedanta, right. So there are 6 philosophies, six darshans. And all of them are atheist except Srila Vyasadev's.
Are those considered part of the Vedas, or?
Well, they have some position there. When we show that chart about the Vedic knowledge, they show also the 6 darshans, because they present some kind of Vedic. They're not the full Vedas, the original. They're not Shruti, but there's some connection with the Vedas. Definitely, it's there. Because when we were studying the Vedas and we saw the sections of the Vedas, it was also there, the 6 darshans. And Prabhupada writes in the purport in the first canto that to sit on the Vyasasana you should be familiar with all the different philosophies, with the 6 different schools, 6 different philosophies. So just by reading Prabhupada's books, you can learn all these different philosophies, because Prabhupada explains about each of these different philosophies. It's all there in Prabhupada's books. Sankhya philosophy is there, Jaimini's philosophy, Karma Mimamsa is there, Gautama's logic is there, Patanjali's yoga is there. So atom is the minute subtle form of eternal time. Eternal time. Atoms are the ultimate state of the manifest universe. And we're told about how they combine. Just like we learned, did you do organic chemistry? In different atoms, how they combine together to make molecules and make some new compound.
Yeah.
So organic chemistry is all about that. Molecular blocks. It states here in text number 2, when they stay in their own forms without forming different bodies, they are called the ultimate, the unlimited oneness. Oneness. Oh, that runs fear into our minds, right? We're constantly confronted with the oneness. You know the Oneness University, they have that place? The Oneness University, people go there. Many people all over the world, they go to this Oneness University.
What's that?
Oh, just to learn about the oneness, that everything is one. And there's some sadhu there, and he's got his wife there. And they're the Divine Mother and Father, and and people go there. They have somehow they have huge propaganda. They get people from all over the world coming.
In which area?
Somewhere in India, somewhere in central India.
Oneness University?
Hmm?
It's called Oneness University? Or?
Yeah, called the Oneness University.
Andhra Pradesh.
It's in Andhra, is it? Well, we have our most number of temples in any state in India. They're in Andhra Pradesh, or Telangana. They divided Andhra.
They divided.
Huh?
Divided.
Yeah, Telangana and Andhra became 2 states. We have, but the most number of temples are there. So working with atoms, philosophers say, they can explain, they will explain everything comes from atoms. It's just a combination of atoms. You are just atoms. Your body is just made of atoms. The brain, the mind, they will say it's all atoms. And so they think that they consider atoms to be the ultimate particle in the creation. And this whole world has come about from atoms. Right, they say they don't believe life comes from life, they see life comes from matter. And they use the atoms to propose that this is where life comes from. The combination of atoms creates life. This is their philosophy. Everything comes from the atoms. And then Prabhupada said, where do the atoms come from? And that they cannot answer. They don't have an answer.
You say quarks and subatoms, and they keep cutting them down smaller and smaller until these smaller and smaller things.
And you could say atoms come from the black hole, right? From the black, everything comes out of the black hole. So, atoms are the ultimate state of the manifest universe. There are certain different bodies in physical forms, but the atoms themselves form the complete manifestation. So, living entities have different physical bodies, all different 8,400,000 different species of life. We each have different physical forms, and all these physical forms are just different combinations of atoms. So why are these atoms important? Because they're going to use it to calculate time, to measure time. There's a connection between the atoms and time that we can use it one can estimate time by measuring the movement of atoms. So there's a relationship there between time and the atoms. So then it states, everything moves under the control of the Supreme Lord. It's all His potency. Time is the potency of Hari, and He controls all physical movements, although He is not visible in the physical world. So being visible, people say, seeing is believing. If they can't see something, then they don't like to believe it. So here, this is a problem that you're presenting. If we tell people everything is the potency of the personality of Godhead, they'll say, "What? Where is this God? Have you ever seen Him? Do you ever see Him? Can you show me Him?" How do you deal with that? What do you say to people?
We have.
You can see His effect.
Like, one thing you can say, people don't understand examples very well usually. You have to give them analogy, no?
Yeah.
So I say, have you ever seen your great-grandfather? They have to admit that their great-grandfather exists, but they doesn't mean they'll be able to see him. So that's one thing.
You can see the effect. We're not able to see God, but we can see the effect of God. We can see His energies and the way they work. We can, based on those energies, we can understand something about Him.
Yeah, you can see the effect. Somebody, you say, did you ever see a great grandfather? Well, I saw his grave. You say it like that. I never saw him, but I know his grave is. I know where he's buried. You could say it like that. You could respond like that. And you say, see the effect. Well, you say, that effect, that is just your sentiment. You're giving the credit. But I could say that effect is coming from some other place. It doesn't have to be the effect of God. It's some other force. It could just simply be the effect of another planet. It could be the effect of other living entities. It doesn't have to be that there's a God over everyone.
You see that everything has, you admit that there's a cause. And you admit that there's a cause to an effect, and what's the cause of all causes? And so when you come to the cause of all causes, you can understand that to be God. And then proving that God is personal, that's another thing.
Well, that's just your crutch for your sentimental thinking. You're just saying that it's a
There's
God.
many things you accept that you don't see. Do you agree? Do you agree? There's many things you accept that you never seen.
Yes. Oh, well, I agree to that. There are things we can't see everything, but generally, we say seeing is believing.
Have you seen an atom? Have you seen an atom?
Well, you can see atoms. There is some way you can see. You can have a screen, and you put the sunlight through a screen, and you can see some atoms. There are some experiments you can do. You can see atoms.
Well,
They've got
you
some.
Well,
don't
the screen experiment proves that actually, the double slit screens there proves that consciousness is affecting atoms. So that proves that atoms are actually coming from consciousness. That's scientific experiment.
Atoms are coming from consciousness. Well, atoms, yeah, they have a source. But, we're not arguing everything has a source, yeah? So you say the atoms come from consciousness. Where does the consciousness come from?
Where do you think consciousness comes from?
Well, consciousness can come about from the interaction of atoms.
Or you said that atoms come from consciousness.
No, you said that. Like we can go on arguing with people all day, and get nowhere.
So there's some things you haven't seen but you've heard, and based on that you've accepted them.
Yes, just like
This is our process.
there's a president of the USA. I've never seen him, but I accept that he's there.
And if you ask, you cannot get him to come in your room also. It's
Yeah.
not under your order.
Yeah.
So he exists, he's there, he's influencing your life, but if you ask, you cannot just request to see him. It's not within your power.
Yeah. Yeah, my power is limited.
Yeah.
But there are other people more powerful than me,
Yeah.
and they could request.
And they
could-
have seen him.
Huh?
And they have seen him. They talk to him every day.
Yeah.
And you accept
So,
the authority.
the fact, if this is lacking logic, if saying you cannot see or me, that no one has seen. It's short of logic. Somebody has seen, I'm saying.
Somebody is saying.
So from that person you can hear, just like you've heard about the president or somebody.
Yeah.
You can-
Yeah. And so that there's a consensus of opinion. It's not just one person who heard about him. No, there are many people who heard about President.
All great Mahajans, they agree in this strict line. People are more intelligent than you and me at least.
But that's only in your own realm of philosophy, that you have a few people, followers in your cult, and they believe what you say, or they believe what the
No,
leader
they are
says.
renowned as great authorities.
We can say
Throughout
that-
the
You
centuries.
can say that those who are scientists, what have they actually done for morality? Right? Even atheists have some type of morality. But we can say that all of the people, not just in my religion, but in all the religions, all the most upstanding people who've ever existed, most honest and loving people, they've all said they've experienced God, and He has a similar nature in each case. So these are great authorities in the level of living like a human being, living with great morality, great love, great peace. All of the authorities in that regard have said they've seen God, and they have said that He has a similar nature.
Well, there are moral people also they're moral people who are good people. That, they don't necessarily have to believe in God.
I don't see them.
No,
I don't see so many of them.
no, you don't see them, but they're there. There are people there. They're good people. They're moral people. They don't do any nonsense activities but they don't necessarily believe in God. They don't see God as a little boy who plays a flute, They don't have these kind of thinking. But You know, they're good people, you know, they don't do any harm to people, they help each other, they try to do good in the world, you know. So, isn't it true? Yeah? They're good people. Not everyone, you can't tell me all the good people are Hare Krishna devotees and all the other people are bad. Is that what you're saying? Hmm?
We're not saying that. We're saying that those who have an experience of God, not a belief, not a religious belief, but a factual experience that perhaps you can't understand based on where you're at, but someone else may understand. Those people have a very high level of morality and peace and consciousness.
Yeah, but they may do, but it's not unique to just Hare Krishna devotees who have a high level of, you can't say that, you can't tell me that. You know, there's good people everywhere. There are Christian mystics, and there are Muslim saints, you know.
That's what we're saying. This Hare Krishna movement is not a religion, like Christianity or Islam or Judaism. It's a scientific process. And so the principles of that scientific process apply for one who's a Christian or one who's a Muslim, one who's a Hindu, one who's a Jew. And so that principle, that scientific principle of devotion, allows one to access consciousness and experience of God.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, consciousness and experience of God. But other people, they can have consciousness, they can have experience of the light, they can have experience of the sound, experience of the divine, and it doesn't have to be a person, it could be impersonal.
So that's understandable, but we're not saying that that's not a bona fide thing. It explains in our scriptures that one can have experience of the Brahman, one can have experience of the Paramatma, or one can have experience of the Bhagavan. They can have experience of the oneness, or the light, the all-pervasiveness. They can have experience of the divine within themselves, or they can have experience of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who's outside of time and space. So the process by which one can experience this Bhagavan, or this Personality of Godhead, is this Bhakti Yoga process, which is principally based on devotion.
Yeah, there's one process, but there's so many other processes. You know, you can't tell me that this is the only way, no other way. You know, that like the Christians, you know, it's the only way, no other way. You're going to come like that, you know. You have to follow Krishna, no other way.
This process is like each process takes you to different destinations. So depending on which destination you want to achieve, take up the process. And we think that in our process, we know that it takes you to something which is eternal, everlasting, full of happiness. So if you want that, then our process is the way. And other processes also take you to different destinations.
And they can also give you happiness.
They can also give you happiness, but it is not eternal. It's temporary.
No, well, you have to prove your happiness is eternal and theirs not. You know, it's a heavy statement. Only our happiness is eternal. Your happiness is not eternal.
We're not saying that. We're not saying that the Christians or the Jews or the Muslims are not experiencing God. They can experience God because if the principle of devotion is there, then God will respond. It's not that God is sectarian. But what we're saying is that the principle must be there. The principle of devotion must be there. So in any case, we see that there are Christians of very low moral value, very, very little realization. We see that there are great saints and mystics who had very deep experiences. So in the same way, we can understand that throughout all the traditions of the world, those saints and mystics who had these profound spiritual experiences were following the process of devotion to their God, and He was reciprocating them in a particular relationship that they were cultivating. Just like you may cultivate a particular relationship with another individual, and they'll reciprocate with you accordingly. So in the same way, each individual is cultivating a very particular relationship with God via their tradition, and thus the Lord is reciprocating with them accordingly.
Again, that you've got this belief that there's a God, but not everyone believes that there's a God.
No, that's the point you should establish first. But on strict logic, you have to concede at least that you have as much argument to believe and not to disbelieve. It's not in your power to disprove. You have to admit to that.
Huh?
You have to admit to that.
That there's.
It's not in your power. Yeah.
I cannot disprove your philosophy, but you cannot prove it either.
Proof is there. You can prove it but it's called pratyak. Pratyak. You have to prove it by experience. So if I can prove to you that something exists, I can show it to you. You yourself said generally seeing is believing.
Yes.
Hearing can be believing, but you're saying you are experiencing and believing based on your senses and your perception. So if you qualify your senses to see God and to experience God, then you also believe. We're not saying you should take on blind faith. We're saying you should take on experimental knowledge. You take to a process, A plus B equals C in all cases, in all circumstances, and under all times. So if you take the process of Bhakti Yoga, then you also experience God. And there will not be a matter of proving or disproving or believing or disbelieving. One can have realization.
Well, somebody may become a Hare Krishna devotee. They may not believe in God. You can get people like that. We had this one Maharaji. She came. She was a devotee. She got initiated now, but she didn't believe in God. She was a Mayapur, and she had statements from Prabhupada's book. So many statements from the Bhagavatam about the oneness and presenting everything as one,
Or you could say that she didn't follow the process correctly. There was a lapse in the scientific process, and the result was not there.
Well, she didn't agree to that. She said, I'm chanting, I'm doing everything. What do you mean it didn't follow No, she read the books, she was chanting, coming to the program. You can't say she didn't follow the process. She followed the process.
You're disagreeing with the conclusion.
But she had a different conclusion from what you have.
Disagreeing with the conclusion of the Guru cuts off that electrical current,
Well, she had another guru. No, really. She was following Sai Baba.
Oh, very bold.
At this point,
She got Diksha.
Huh?
This guy.
Yeah, she got taken and it's gone,
So what was she doing in
Huh?
ISKCON? Why did she take initiation from ISKCON?
I don't know.
Just in case, maybe.
Just in case.
Yeah, she followed the process, she chanted, everybody gets okay, but, actually in her heart and everything, she had another guru.
That's when they introduced
Wonderful.
IDC, yeah, that came later, yeah, IDC came later. She had already been initiated.
right, at this point in the argument, you generally say, "Hey, would you like some pakoras?"
That's a good way out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rabindra Swarup Prabhu, is he still here in Mayapur? Rabindra Swarup?
In this group, maybe.
Huh?
Don't know.
I haven't seen him.
Well, yeah, he came here with his wife to stay. They were going to retire here. I don't know what happened. Last time I was here, he just arrived and came to stay. Anyway, many years ago, he taught a course in Vrindavan. We used to have courses during the month of Kartik, and he taught a course defeating Mayavada philosophy, and he presented that. I took that course, I attended that.
Oh.
Very nice. And he said best way to deal with Mayavadi, kirtan and prasada. That
Right.
was the conclusion. Because you can get nowhere arguing with people. You know, although we have so many arguments and we consider our philosophy to be better, you know, you don't really convince people. If they're really stuck on something, they've got their own ideas and everything, you know, you can't really change their way of thinking. I remember Srila Prabhupada one time, it was in the Bhaktivedanta manor, this one young man came and Prabhupada was giving darshan, he was answering questions, and this young man started arguing with everything Prabhupada said, in different points, and Prabhupada would come up and Prabhupada would say something else and he would defeat him, and back and forth arguments went on for a long time. And then finally Prabhupada got up and went for a walk, and after he went for a walk he came back and he walked past the temple room, and when he came past the temple room he looked in the temple room and he saw that young man who was arguing with him, that the young man was in the kirtan and he was dancing in the kirtan. And Prabhupada turned to all the devotees and said, you see, he said, this is Lord Chaitanya's mercy. He said, you can get nowhere arguing philosophy, but kirtan convinces everyone.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate weapon in preaching. So we try to let everyone join the kirtan. Now, just our back and forth, this and that, you know, philosophy. We speak so much philosophy, and how much we actually apply it in our life is something else. So we try to engage people in the chanting. So Lord Chaitanya, he spent many years in Jagannath Puri just chanting the holy name and having kirtan, getting everyone to chant, giving the holy name to everyone. Because this is the process in the Kali Yuga. Okay, so going ahead, text number 4. Here we see Kala, eternal time. Atomic time is measured according to its covering a particular atomic space. That time which covers the unmanifest aggregate of atoms is called the great time. So the Prabhupada said time and space are two correlative terms. Time is measured in terms of covering a certain space of atoms. Just like calendars. You have a calendar, you have the, you know, it's actually a measurement of the sun moving. In the course of the year, the sun is moving and the moon is moving, and it's all recorded there in the calendar. You can see the sun and the moon moving. Throughout every month the moon is moving, and in the year you've got the sun moving, one cycle, one whole circle. So time is understood like that, by motion, the movement of the sun. Now the sun is risen, so daytime has come. But as the sun sets, evening, and then night. So it's the time is adjusted by the movement of the sun. And if you go to Jaipur, they have that clock there, which is stone. Some stones there, they can tell the time. You know, hundreds of years ago, they had this system of measuring the time and by the movement of the sun and how it would reflect on different pieces and the stone. And they can tell, even today you can tell the time. So people have been measuring time. It's not a new thing. It's not that it's only since Seiko and Casio and Rolex came out with watches that we started measuring time, but time had always been measured. And the birds, of course, they have their time. You have dawn chorus every morning. The birds will wake up in the morning. You can hear the dawn chorus. You can hear and then in the evening, you can tell it starts. The sun goes down, becomes a little dark. The birds all go back to the nests. And I saw the monkeys. I was in somewhere. There's a lot of monkeys, and the monkeys are the same. When it becomes a little dark, it comes to dusk, just as the evening comes, and all the monkeys will go, and they all have their place where they're going to go for the night. They go off. They know the time. And they know the time. They wake up, but we, people, we get so covered, Oh, I didn't wake up today, I slept all day, I'm so tired. We get covered, we become oblivious to time. One devotee told me, he said, oh, I'm sorry, I heard you giving class, I missed it. He said, I slept 9.5 hours, I was so tired. 9.5 hours. That's pretty good, you can sleep that long. And the bears, they will sleep. Right? The bears usually they sleep in the winter. They can sleep all winter. They go in the tree.
They still sleep in the summer, right? They don't just wake up for 5 minutes.
No, they sleep, they're in hibernation in the winter.
They just sleep more in the winter, but otherwise.
Yeah, they can go in the tree, right? They just find a place. They get the whole body immersed into a tree. Sometimes. Some places. So that, they have their winter, Anyway, time is measured by the motion. All the planets rotate and cover space, and space is calculated in terms of atoms. Each planet has its particular orbit for rotating, in which it moves without deviation. Similarly, the sun has its orbit. And so the amazing thing is that these different planets, they all each have their different effects. Some planets are good and some are bad. Any astrologers here? You know astrology? You know some astrology? Materialistic people, they don't like things like astrology. They say, oh, this is nonsense, this is all mythology, it's not proper. When I was a student, this one other devotee, other man I knew, he was studying astronomy. In astronomy, he was studying the motions of the planets and looking at the planets. I said, I confused it with astrology. He said, no, not astrology. That's bogus, that's nonsense. Didn't like that. But astrology it can be quite accurate, some things. Definitely different planets have their different influence. So the calculation of creation, maintenance and dissolution, that is the supreme Kala. And it's measured in terms of the circulation of the planetary systems. The planets are rotating, carefully controlled orbits. Everything is so carefully controlled. If you have a little accident on the highway, the whole highway becomes blocked, Whenever there's a big crash up, a big pile up on the highway, you get the highway blocked, can be stuck in the traffic for hours. But in the universe they have so many planets, you know. They don't have any pile-ups, you know. The planets are all able to rotate very carefully, controlled orbits without collision. And it goes on until the end of creation. So then they talk about how you can calculate time. And they talk about passing the atoms through the holes in a window screen. One can clearly see the hex atom goes up toward the sky. Right? You want to see the hex atom? This hex atom is visible in the sunshine, which enters through the holes in a window screen. Have we got any window screens with holes in them?
Yeah.
We could try it to see. Anyway, we shouldn't doubt. Told there. And then you've got combinations of double atoms. Trasarenus is called a Truti. 100 Trutis make one Veda. 3 Veda make one Lava. You've heard of lava before?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So they say if a second is divided into 1,687.5 parts, each part is a Truti. How did they manage to come up with that figure? Okay. So combinations of atoms into different bodies creates the calculation of material time. Sun is the central point for calculating all different durations. Three lavas equal 1 nimesha. 3 nimeshas make 1 shana. 5 shanas make 1 kasta. 15 kastas make 1 lagu. 1 lagu equals 2 minutes.
So we say Praptikshanaswa, spiritual master is for every second, every kshana, he's trying to meditate on the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Praptikshanaswa nanalolapasya. Every second, every kshana, he's thinking about meditating on Radha and Krishna.
Every
kshana. Praptikshanaswa nanalolapasya.
Also nahi kashchit shanamapi. Nahi kashchit shanamapi. Is it the same shana?
I know that one, Praptikshanaswa, is that word kshana is there too.
shana.
Yeah.
Shana.
3 nimeshas make 1 shana. That time, huh? So let's say
That's that word, Praptikshanaswa. The guru is always meditating on Sri Radhika and Madhava. Leelas. Every second he's aspiring to serve Radha and Krishna. Praptikshanaswa.
so 5 shanas make 1 kasta, 15 kastas make 1 lagu, and 1 lagu is 2 minutes. So what's 1 shana? How many seconds is it? 1 lagu is 2 minutes. How many lagus? 15 kastas make 1 lagu. So 15 kastas in 2 minutes. So 1 kasta into 2, divide 15 into 2, you get 4, 8. 8 kastas. 8 kastas equal. No, 15 kastas make 1 lagu. 1 lagu is 2 minutes. So 15 into 2 minutes means 8 seconds. 1 kasta is 8 seconds. So 5 shanas make 1 kasta. So 1 shana.
8 divided by 5.
5 divided by 8. Oh, 8 divided by 5, right? 1.6. Is it?
Yeah, 1.6. So
1.6, that's 1 shana. And that's 1 shana, 3 nimeshas. So 1 nimesha will be 1.2. And 3 lavas is 1 nimesha. So 3 into 1.2, 0.4.
0.53. Yeah, one shana you divide that by 3. 1.6 divided by 3 is 0.53. And the nation is 0.53 seconds.
So, like that.
It's like when we close our eyes.
Hmm?
It's compared to the time to blink the eyes, I think.
Yeah, like that, yeah. The blinking of an eye. Not a very long time, anyway. And then we get so many other measurements. 15 lagos make 1 nadika or a danda. 2 dandas make 1 muhurta. 6 or 7 dandas make 1/4 of a day or night, according to human calculation.
Muhurta, Brahma Muhurta.
1/4 of a day means what? 6 hours. 6 4s to 26 hours. And 6 or 7 dandas, so 1 danda is about 1 hour. And 2 dandas make 1 muhurta.
So, Muhurta is for 2 hours.
So 1 danda is how many?
1 hour.
1 hour. And so 15 lag make 1 nadika, which is also called a danda. 15 into an hour, so you get 4 minutes. About 4 minutes. And then we're told how you can measure it. You use a whole technique to measure, to calculate time. A danda, the measuring pot for 1 nadika or danda, can be prepared with a 6 pala weight. 6 pala weight meaning 14-ounce pot of copper in which a hole is bored with a gold probe, weighing 4 masa and measuring 4 fingers long. When the pot is placed on water, the time before the water overflows in the pot is called 1 danda. Pretty amazing, go to all that trouble. Yeah. We're so fortunate, you know, you just get your watch and you look at the time. But Prabhupada says, it appears that in the days of Vedic civilization, there was no dearth of knowledge in physics, chemistry, or higher mathematics. Measurements were calculated in different ways, as simply as could be done. As simply as could be done. How do we do it? There's a number, there used to be a number you could call up and he can tell you the time. You remember that? I know that I used to something. You could dial a number and they'd tell you the time, you know, you didn't know what the time was.
Then? I've never heard about it.
Yeah, it's mostly this.
I guess it's before your time. Before your time. You hadn't woken up. You were still in the womb.
Might have been in another body still.
I was telling you in Jaipur how they had that clock. And the Egyptians, they also measured time. And
Sundials.
yes, sundials, like that. They could measure time. And then more measurements, longer periods of time. 4 prahas, which are also called yamas, in the day, and 4 in the night of the human being. 15 days and nights are a fortnight. Well, that's reasonable enough. There are 2 fortnights, white and black, in a month.
Krishna Paksha.
Okay, that's not difficult. We can easily go with that. And then the aggregate of 2 fortnights is 1 month. Okay, not very hard for us to. We don't argue about that. And that period is 1 complete day and night for the Pitta planet.
But
Huh?
1 month in this case is a lunar month.
Yes. This will be 1 lunar month.
It's like 26, 27 days or...
Is Pitta planet the Pitri Loka?
Pitri, yeah, I would think this is the Pitris, right? Pitta planet. Huh? Be the Pitris, isn't it?
Pitrinam of the Pitta planet.
They're known as Pitta planet?
Yeah, Pitrinam proper translate of the Pitta planets.
Oh, okay. That period, 1 month, is 1 complete day and night for the Pitta planet. And 2 of such months comprise 1 season. In India, you get a different season every 2 months, right?
Supposed to.
In the Western countries, it's 4 months a season. 3 months a season. 3 months usually. 3 months, 4 seasons. And 3 months each. But in India, it's 2 months for a season. And 6 months comprise 1 complete movement of the sun from south to north. When is Makar Sankranti?
Yesterday.
Huh?
It was yesterday.
When was the Sankranti?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was, yeah. That was when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, right? Makar Sankranti. So was that a big bathing day at Kumbh Mela?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Everyone went out to bathe. Even in Mayapur Ganga it was crowded.
Huh?
Even Mayapur Ganga was crowded with visitors for bathing.
Oh yeah?
Because
Yes.
it was Ganga Sagar Mela and Makar Sankranti and the Kumbh Mela timing, all 3.
Many people went to Ganga to take bath. Did you go? Did you go?
We were in class.
Okay, from the movement of the sun from south to north. The Sankranti is when the sun starts moving back to the north, is it? It's come as far south, then it starts moving back up north.
Vishal Panchami is on the 18th?
I'm not sure.
So 2 solar movements make 1 day and night of the demigods. 2 solar movements. What's in 2 solar movements?
1 year.
1 year, right? The complete movement of the sun from south to north, then back north to south again. 2 solar movements make 1 day and night of the demigods. So 1 year on this planet is 1 day and night of the demigods. So, how many days? 1 day and night of the demigods is how many days on this planet?
365.
Huh?
365.
1 year.
1 year, 360. That combination of day and night is one complete calendar year for the human being. So it's 1 year. And then influential stars, planets, luminaries and atoms all over the universe are rotating in their respective orbits under the direction represented by eternal time. One of the devotees in Malaysia, he's an astrologer, and every year he brings out a calendar and he tells you exactly the time of Kala. There's an inauspicious time every day. Kala, what do you call it? Huh?
Durmuhurt.
Huh?
Durmuhurt.
What Mahut?
Durmuhurta.
Muhurta.
Durmuhurta.
Durmuhurta. The inauspicious time in the day. Yeah, he has a website, good times, bad times. And he brings out a calendar, he'll tell you every day what time the Muhurta is, the Kala Muhurta or something, Dur Muhurta. When is the good time? When is the bad time? You know, if you start activities during the bad time, it can be very inauspicious. So, just especially if you're doing yajnas, you're doing any kind of business venture, like some people, they're very particular about. Even Prabhupada was very careful. Like Prabhupada, he would never start a journey on Thursday afternoon. Thursday afternoon was considered to be a very inauspicious time for him. But if he had to, what he would do, he would pack his bag and move the bag outside the door. If it was a Thursday and he was supposed to leave in the afternoon, he'd pack his bag in the morning and move his bag out the door, rather than wait for the inauspicious time. So Prabhupada
So are we also supposed to follow inauspicious time and good time?
Well, it helps. It can help you. You may say, oh, I'm not superstitious, and we could say, oh, Subhasha Segram. You know, Subhasha Segram means it's auspicious. If it's auspicious work, it's a good time. You should do it any time. You don't put off something which is auspicious. But still, it can help you if you have some, if you know material energy can trouble you, you take care about it and, do things at the right time. It can make a difference, definitely.
Prabhupada said, I think in regards to astrology, one of the quotes Prabhupada said was, yeah, devotees are always surrendered to Krishna, so it doesn't matter, but if we know it's going to rain, we still take an umbrella.
Yeah. So material world, we know there's always problems, padam, tadvipidam, natesham. So you can protect yourself, as he said, take an umbrella. So being conscious of the times, because different stars and planets, Rahu Kala, Rahu Kala. And you don't want to do things during time Rahu Kala, that's inauspicious time. That would be bad.
There's you said no inauspicious time to do devotional service.
Yeah.
No,
There's no inauspicious time for devotional service.
Yeah.
If you're doing devotional service, then that's auspicious. No matter if it's Rahu Kala or whatever.
I'm asking.
Huh?
I'm asking.
You're asking? Well, I'm telling you. There is no inauspicious time for devotional service. It's all auspicious. Anytime we do it. You would go out on Sankirtan, we go out it's auspicious. You go out on Harinam, the Sankirtan, and book district. That's auspicious. We don't care about Rahu Kala or whatever. If you're going to, but if you're going to get married or something like that, you're a bit more cautious about these things. You need some mercy. Yeah, you've got to be more cautious about it. Are you going to start a business or something? You want to do it at the right time. You want to get the mercy.
Maybe construction, like temple construction.
Yeah, temple construction is also, yeah. Pick the right time, pick a good day, for these things. Well, yeah, it was said like Lord Chaitanya, he was in the womb and he was waiting to take birth. He waited for the auspicious time to take his birth.
Yeah.
Although the mother had to carry the child in the womb for a longer period of time, but the child was waiting for the auspicious time to take birth.
He was in the womb 13 months, I think.
Yeah, like that, 13 months.
Maharaj, even Bhishma was waiting for Uttarayan to come to you.
Yeah, Bhishma Deva waited to depart from the world. He waited, but some people say that he was waiting for Krishna to come. Was he just waiting for the planet? He was waiting for Krishna to come, not just the planet.
But after also Krishna's darshan, he waited till the moment, no? He didn't pass away immediately. Like when Bhishma, was it that Bhishma waited for the moment, even in the presence of Krishna? Or I'm asking.
You could say he was waiting for that auspicious time to depart, but you could also say he was waiting for Krishna. He waited for Krishna because when he departed, he fixed his sight on Krishna. It was Lord Krishna who came before him, just before he departed.
He departed in the presence of Krishna.
Yeah, directly in the presence. Krishna came directly in front of him before he departed. So that's auspicious. And sometimes we bring people, even they're leaving the body, we bring them to the temple and lay them in front of the deities to depart in front of the deity. Some people do that, not very common. And in the Chaitanya Mangala, it says that Jagannath Mishra, who was departing, they brought him to the Ganga, and they put him on the Ganga to depart. So different things, of making an auspicious situation.
In the Ganga or on the bank, like on?
I'm not sure yet. So you can ask Subhai Swami, he translated something there. But I think it said he was actually on the Ganga.
Like on the boat?
Yeah. They have dead bodies sometimes, they put them on a boat, banana boat or something, banana tree. And float down the Ganga. Just like, what was his name? Murari's...
Saranga Murari.
Huh?
Saranga Murari?
Saranga, Murari, Saranga's Murari.
Yeah.
The boy was Murari, isn't it, right? And Saranga Thakur, he was the old man. Lord Chaitanya told him, he said, you haven't taken any disciples, you should have a disciple. You're old now, you need somebody, have a disciple. And so he said, okay, tomorrow, the first person I see, I'll make him my disciple. So next morning he went to take bath in the Ganga and put his foot on some dead body. But when he touched the body came to life. And it was a young boy. The young boy had been put on the boat. And he was put on the boat, being bitten by a snake. And the family thought he was dead. So they put him on the boat and put the banana thing down the river. and somehow the banana tree came to the side of the Ganga and Murari touched it, and the boy just came up and he got up and he stayed with Saranga. He wouldn't go home. And the family tried to bring him back. He said, no, I already died. You already sent me up to now. He wouldn't go home. So he became a great devotee. Because he'd already died once, so he wasn't afraid. So, anyway, time, that all these things go on under the influence of time. Rahu Kala. Yeah, definitely doing business ventures and so on, economic ventures, you want to be cautious about the time, the influence of time. Try to get the best advantages. Because we're going to use the money for Krishna, you want to make money for Krishna, so we have to try to do things the proper way. We want to be successful. So Prabhupada writes, beginning from the sun down to the atom, all bodies are under the influence of the Kala Chakra. The verse was there previously, right? What's that verse from the Brahma Samhita again? Chaksha. How does it go? Agnir Mahi Gaganam Amrut. And then Yak Chakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Sura Murti Rashesha Teja Yash Yagnaya Brahmati Sambarata Kala Chakro Kala Chakro Govindamadi Porsham Tamaham Bhajami. Right? Time is this a very powerful thing in the material world. Everyone is under the control of time. Everyone except who?
Except those who are engaged in chanting the glories of the Lord.
Ayur Harati Vaipamsam. Yeah, good. And there you go. The Sambrita Kala Chakro. You see that? Yakshyaknaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro. The Kala Chakra, time, the orbit of time. And time is under the control of Krishna. Right. We're all controlled by time. Class begins at a certain time, finishes at a certain time. We're controlled by time. But time itself is under the control of Krishna. How can we support that? Have you got any evidence that time is controlled by Krishna?
Jayadratha, when Arjuna took a vow that he would kill Jayadratha, and the sun assumed as if it had been set, and then Krishna suddenly reveals the sun.
Okay, yeah, that's a good example, right?
The gopis and the rasa dance, they experienced the rasa dance lasted for 1 day at Brahma.
1 day of Brahma?
1 night, yeah, 1 night of Brahma. The gopis danced with Krishna.
So the time didn't exhaust, it didn't change. Or it lasted for 1 night of Brahma.
Yeah, they perceived it as such.
Okay. Time. Schedule of eternal time. The time of the earth planet is not applicable to other, more elevated planets. Therefore, Vidura herein inquires about the duration of life on other planets. So, on other planets, they live a longer time. Here Prabhupada writes about the planets of highly learned living entities like the sages, Sanaka and Bhrigu are not affected by the dissolutions of the millenniums. Where do Sanaka and Bhrigu live? Where are they living?
Tapaloka?
Yeah, Sanaka, the four Kumar, one of the four Kumars, they live on Tapaloka. What about Bhrigu? Where's Bhrigu?
Janaloka.
Janaloka, right. Janaloka. He's on Janaloka. There's Janaloka, Mahaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. Satyaloka meaning Brahmaloka. Okay, we'll take our Gayatri break.
Thank you.